good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the WTRL Team Time Trial. We're in with number 124 today, out on the Magnificent Eight. Nathan Guerra, Dave Towle next to me. And this course, Dave, I think we've been on this course quite a lot, actually, I think, with a lot of course records. I think riders are going to be pretty familiar with it. Magnificent Eight sees a lot of the original Watopia sections out there that a lot of the racers who've been around Zwift for a while will be super familiar with.
Yeah, I would completely agree, Nathan. The terrain is certainly familiar. I would call this the no frills team time trial course, right? This is you can get a corker of a time out here. Just absolutely get out there and smoke it. It'll be fun to see what those records are, as we're bringing some new mega talents into WTRL. Some big engines, and we're going to see a lot of as we start revisiting some old favorites, and this is definitely would qualify as an old favorite as well, for sure, when you talk about Mag 8. So not a lot of climbing. It gets a little lumpy there for a while. It's one big 29K chunk with most of the climbing comes in about in the first, well, in between the first third and the half of the race out there. So you'll see that's most likely where teams are going to build up a bit of a buffer, Nathan, and then try to hold that on that flat run in and a long flat run into the line. It's a classic course.
Yeah.
It should be a classic day.
Yeah, and they head on over toward the volcano to begin with, then over to the Zwift King of the Mountain reverse on Watopia, the original Watopia. So, that section is really the only section where you got any kind of climbing. There's a little bit of a bump, leaving Fuego Flats, which they do take on the entirety of the forward of Fuego Flats, and then head on over toward the finish line. And from there, that's about it. So, this is going to be a fast one, really straight ahead. The fastest times we've seen out here.
Team up. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the fastest times that we've seen out here, between 38 minutes and 45 minutes that we're seeing across the board. Sox Watts still holding on. It looks like WRT with 38 minutes amongst the Vienna Espressos. The top time we've ever seen in the Dopios is going to be La Bamba. That's got to be a while ago, 35-34. So we'll see how things play out today when it comes to those times.
Yeah, I only half joking when I say don't blow your team up, because if you do have a split on that climb and the time you spend welding things back together, other teams are going to be pouring it on, as there is that long flat run. And there's that little bump that you hit, as you mentioned, Nathan, with a few K to go, but they're going to be hauling. So for the teams that are getting ready for, it's less than a month now, we're on the clock, folks, for ZRL Season 4. And we had a really exciting announcement that came out just a couple days ago with the fusion now between Next and Insured. For a super team. I think, Nathan, that might qualify. Hino, in the women's side of things, has always been a super team, right? But on the men's side of things, I think we're seeing this next evolution, and you're going to want to be out here. This is now preseason for ZRL. WTRL, number 124, this stands on its own. I mean, this is a legendary racing now for over 2 years, every single week. And a special shout out today to our man, Martin. We have so much appreciation for you, Martin, and I know it's been really, really tough. They had a big loss up at his house, and our thoughts are with Martin. So, and everybody definitely is going to go easy this week on that crew for sure. But it's time to get down to what we love so much, and it's this team time trial format, Nathan. Riders start with up to 8. I'm going to guess we see a lot more teams coming with the maximum number of 8 riders here as we start moving back into North American, or I should say Northern Hemisphere's Zwift season. And Nathan, tell me about who we're going to get to jump in with today. It's been really fun. Your coverage has been fantastic of the just now wrapped up Zwift Classics. And we've been covering a lot of different categories. This is going to be our mochas that we're taking a look at here. So fun. Mochas, there will be in the Bs if you're on Zwift Power. Taking a look here. It's going to be a big day racing for these teams, Nathan.
Yeah, we're just jumping right on in with our mochas to begin with here and in with the WCC Dragons here. Cryogen Robbins now coming through with the 10:30. The checkpoint is going to be the 6 kilometer mark. That is just before the only real climb out on course. So it may be an initial timing of who went out a little bit too hot, perhaps, a lot of times when it comes to having these flatter run-ins directly into a climb. I think the climb is going to tell us a lot. So the 6K, and then moving on over toward the 14 kilometer mark and the 20 kilometer mark will be the checkpoints. I think that 14K mark is going to tell us a lot about how this climb actually goes for our riders out here. It is difficult a lot of times to keep things together if there is a lot of disparity between the riders. You can see Prescott here from the WCC Dragons on the attack on this team almost. They are being caught up here by Team TFC with Andy B, long time rider in Zwifter, as well as parts of our broadcast from Team TFC. Good to see him hammering away with Beavers here heading to the front in the Alienware kit. So TFC, it looks like the next ones that should be bringing in their times here, but Valhalla Drangvandal come through with the 10:26 as well. Team Type 1 Gluconauts are out there. Now, a special shout out to Team High Speed. I think that they made some adjustments to their life, and they were like, hey guys, we got to get in on this broadcast because these guys have been working for this for a while. So I definitely want to jump back and say hello to them. I'm loving the kit. What is this kit that Cooper's got going on here? This is, I don't know. Oh, this is the new Pride On kit. It looks like.
Okay.
One of the, I've never seen this one actually, I don't think.
There's a great women's race in France, La Dèche, that has a jersey that's somewhat similar to that. That is one of the coolest I've ever seen, for sure. Team High Speed here, Nathan. I love their attitude, and welcome to the big time Platinum League. This is what you're witnessing right now is a special zone of the 16 different zones that make up the WTRL. These are the cream of the crop is a good way to put it. The fastest 10 or 11 times in each one of these divisions. And you can see there's latte, mocha, espresso, frappe, doppio, and we have the women who start a little bit later. This is mixed, so we will have some women out here, like the monster out of South Africa, Maud LaRue. Nathan, she is certainly the breakthrough rider of the summer for me, along with Nadia Gantova. I did just notice 50 years old, Nathan. You're a ways away from that. I've already passed that threshold. I was really proud to be 50. So I'm just kidding. I wasn't that proud. But I'm sure that today we should all be proud of Vance Nall. Vance turning 50, but he's the captain on Team Type 1, the Lancettes. And I was thinking, Nathan, you've heard me mention that insulin was invented or discovered 100 years ago. Vance is 50. Think about that for a second, right? It's a big year for Team Type 1, and we love the Lancettes. Dragon Dilk just came through, Nathan, with a 10:26. I'll throw it back to you. It's going to be really close out there. Let me just say one thing, Nathan, before I do throw it back to you here. That 14K check, if you can tick these two boxes, one of the fastest 2 times with the most riders left, that's most likely going to be the team that wins. I know that sounds kind of simple, but it's not always that way. But the way this course sets up, by the time you come through that 14K check, if you still got numbers and you've got a fast time, you're going to be in for a good day.
100% have to agree with that one. And, keeping things together over the top of this climb specifically with enough bodies that can really get a freight train going on the back end of this course, I think is going to be extremely important. Now, it is that knife's edge of how much time are you willing to lose versus how much are you going to gain. If you have a rider who has a big engine, it's just tough to get over the top of that climb, that's one thing. If you have a rider who's just struggling all around and they don't bring a whole lot to the back end of the course, letting them go if you have to might be the best choice, right? So, there is so much of the Fuego Flats going into Titan, the left-hand turn, not quite entering Titans Grove, then heading on over to the Ocean Boulevard, lots of flat over there. I just think as you were saying, Dave, if you've got more firepower to throw into those sections of the course, losing a few seconds on the climb is not going to be the most detrimental. But at a certain point, if they actually don't bring anything to that back end of the course, letting them go is probably the best idea. It's within the team's call, obviously, but that is definitely going to be on people's minds, I think.
Nathan, we're really synced up today because I completely agree. So you have to look at, if you've got, let's say you start with 8, if you've still got 7 of your riders together as you're at 1K from let's say at 9K to go, kind of right in the middle of that climbing sector that you hit between 7 and 10K. So if you're going to have to only give up a couple of seconds to keep a strong rider who you know can participate, will be able to take good hard pulls in that second half of the race, you wait. If it's a rider who was supposed to be strong in this sector through the last couple of K and they're struggling, and you know that they're not really there, well, I'll put it this way: they're a lighter rider, so they're they're not a big rouleur type of rider. Then maybe you should leave them and carry on, because they weren't going to be able to help you that much in the second half of the course. So it's all so situational out here. And when people ask for advice or you talk about tactics, there's almost like 20 questions, Nathan, that you'd have to have answered for yourself before you can give really good advice. I'd need to know a lot about your team, what your ambition was, what kind of shape riders are in, trajectories for every rider on the team. There's so many variables here. So we can make this simple or we can make it incredibly complicated. It's however you want it, to tell you the truth.
Just want to highlight that our buddy Cooper here is in the 70+ category. Absolutely amazing.
Team that is impressive. Yeah. I was only joking about 50, Nathan. We should all strive to hit 50, right? But 70, right on, Cooper, to be out here.
Absolutely
that's
killing
fantastic.
it. Team Moose. I'm going to highlight this team, actually. This is kind of our faster after 50.
This high speed?
Feels like a little bit. This is high speed, yeah. And Team Moose here, also in the 60+ category. We've got as well 60+ coming in from Dwight Broyles on Team High Speed. He's also hanging out in here with this crew. They are doing really well as far as how they were seated in and amongst this. They were the 8th team to go out as well against a lot of these young bucks.
Yeah, and for folks who are just joining us, first, thanks for watching. But there's no Masters category or Veterans category here. It's all about, and this is actually not even gender dependent. We have women could be racing in this mixed group that we've got out here now. This is our mochas that we're looking at. We run all the different, to give you some perspective, we're getting close to the point where we'll be back to 6,000 to 7,000 racers with over 1,000 teams participating weekly. This is the 124th consecutive week. There's never been a week off for WTRL. That will be an incredibly bad sign for humanity, Nathan, if WTRL takes a week off. That'll mean that maybe aliens have attacked or something. So, you know what I'm saying? It would take almost something of that level for them not to do a WTRL. I hate to even think about it, to tell you the truth, as we're in with MJ Jones right now, who's going to be looking to get back up into the team here on high speed. They're just flying today.
Yeah, it's Mariah Jones on a really nice setup, actually. She's
speaking of women,
what used to be the fastest bike setup in Zwift. Recently, it did get updated, but Mariah MJ Jones, she's also in the 50+ category. So this entirety,
Zwifter?
And she is a level 48 Zwifter, getting close there. Almost. It's those last few levels, they take a lot. They take a ton of experience, that's for sure. Points.
See, that's kind of how the Zwift folks get you hooked on Zwifting, is the classic sales technique, right? The first one is free, because the first few levels go by so incredibly quick that you're like, I'll be at level 50 here in a couple weeks if I keep working this hard. And then you realize, they get incrementally harder, and then they start getting logarithmically harder, to the point where, where I'm at, it's like 1,200K to get to the next level now.
What I want to know here, we're seeing the same last name with M. Parker as well as Jay Parker next to each other here. I wouldn't
Good
be
detective work.
surprised if this is is this a husband and wife situation going on here. Maria Parker is hammering away. It looks like, and let me
Okay,
say
so look at
James
Cooper.
Parker as well. So, or brother and sister, who knows? I don't want to make too many assumptions, but I'm absolutely loving. I got a
Don't
tip
want it
that
to
this
get
team.
weird.
Yeah,
Don't
but
want
I
it to
got a
get weird
tip.
at the Parker house.
What? It's just a
Um,
coincidence. Who's this
I
guy
think you're
saying that? That's what?
or like, oh, it's the other Parkers from Knoxville. We hate them. We're the Minnesota Parkers. No, I bet you're right with the former, Nathan. I bet you it's husband and wife. But you know what I love lately? You have been on fire lately, Nathan Guerra. And I would say that your predictions are right way more than they're wrong. So, but people have been letting us know on Twitter, or actually in the chat, I should say, is a better place to do it. And we always appreciate people's comments for sure. I see Chris Sullivan, Nathan, was asking, are any more records falling today? And
Ooh, that's a good question. And we
yeah.
should bring the records in to get an idea. Good to see you, Chris. Thanks for coming in. And looks like, as far as records go,
It's a legendary Sox for Watts team there with that Vienna Espresso record. It would take a lot to beat that. So if your team does beat that 38-40, going to be feeling pretty good about where you're at heading into ZRL 4.
Yeah, this is 38 40 4109. There with the Sarsa Pros Closet in Vienna Frappe. Fearless Furiosas, then Vienna. Pretty close in the Vienna Latte and Vienna's Dopey with the 35-34. Eat Dirt
So
May. That espresso time, looking
that's
at that
vulnerable.
time, I think that's
Yep.
definitely vulnerable. Yeah, I really do.
So for folks, Nathan, I'm sort of thinking today of the mentality of we're starting to pick up new viewers again. And so just I know for our old time friends, you're well aware of this, but that Vienna categorization, that means women. And you'll see then that there's something that changes then as the Vienna goes away, but you still have the same categories. Women can race up, so it's mixed or women is what we're dealing with. In Team Type 1, we're looking at a bunch of different teams. Nathan was talking about the landscape of the race here. Only 154 meters of climbing over the 29K. A lot of it is like this. The back half of the course, the back nine, is dry, flat, and fast. There's a little bit of a kicker that happens in between 23 and 24K in, but it's not much. These teams will just pin it over that, as we're in with Goldweber of the mighty Cryogen teams. Nathan, they're halfway into this race and they've got 4 riders. So there's, as we say, no wiggle room here. They're going to need to keep everyone together, just kind of face the task at hand.
Yeah, and starting with 6, it seems that they've dropped 2 at this point in with this Cryogen team. So we'll see how this ends up playing out with them currently sitting in with a 10:30, 1 second behind the Sumatran Rhinos as they come to the 14 kilometer mark. We'll start getting some times coming on in. TV chasing them hard, it looks like here, as they are sitting with, as I believe this is going to be the Vikings Drag Vandal, if I'm not incorrect. And they're going to be at a 10:26, the second fastest time, as TSZ Cannibal are holding on to the fastest time. But now as they come through that 14, Cryogen Robbins and the WCC, 24:24 and a 25:30. And Cryogen with that only 4 left in there. We'll see how that ends up playing out. This is going to be the real telltale, I think, here today, Dave, when it comes to how this race is going to be won. I think that 14K mark versus the 20K mark. The 20K mark, I think, is going to be more of like, all right, at 14K, we figured out where things are settling in and where the battles are. And then between 20K and the finish line is like, how are we going to settle these battles?
Yeah, I completely agree, Nathan. That last half of this race, you just want to channel your inner P.O. Otto and put and go into pretty much what we're seeing right now. I did notice one of the beautiful things about our webcast, the live stream with Zwift Community Live, is Nathan not only does the commentary, but does all of the production and manages the entire show. And all I have to do really is talk and stay aware of what's going on. And because of that, Nathan, I'm able to watch the comments probably even closer than you, even though you are all over that too. But I see now that Eat Dirt time, because of Mike Dodd and Chris Sullivan, thank you guys. Very much appreciate you. That time is from this morning, the Eat Dirt time. So that was set today.
Interesting.
There you go. Yep. See, and Nathan is able to cue that up. I'm not the one that made that appear on your screen. So thanks, Nathan. So Mike and Chris, we appreciate you guys for sure. I also, as we take a look now, this is what I'm talking about, Nathan. Having 6 riders, 6 is enough. I think there's an old TV show called 8 is Enough. Well, 6 is enough here to give yourself a nice break. If everyone can take polls and just keep coming through now, it's going to be, a good 15K, a little bit less than that now, of just rolling through. Channel your inner team time trial demons, as this is what the team's time trial event is all about right now. And again, 6 to 8 riders, it's pretty close to the same thing. It's a lot different when you've only got 4 or 5.
We do have our women's racing coming up in just a few minutes here. 3 minutes to go to the start banner being dropped for them. We can just real quickly, you'll see they're hanging out in the pens here. So it'll be interesting to see how this ends up playing out for the women. But 3 minutes to go to the start of our Vienna classes. We're going to stick in with our mochas for just a couple of more minutes here, and then we'll move on over to the top-end Doppio and Espressos to see how things are playing out there. They're going to be flying on this course and most likely going to be already into closing in on that 14 to 20K mark. Moving our way backwards here, it is going to be Team SC. This is the fastest team, I believe, out on course right now with the Cannibal. They were the fastest seated, I believe, as well, as they were number 10 to go. And they had that 10:01 coming through that 6K to go, 6K mark, 14K coming quick.
And look how quick that 10:01 is, Nathan, when you put it in perspective. The next grouping of teams starts with the Vikings, Valhalla, the Dragvandil team at 10:26, and then it's really tightly packed in with the Rhinos right behind them, just 3 seconds back there. But an outstanding ride. Every reason in the world to believe in Cannibal here, the Swedish Zwifters. This is a team that has depth. They really tick all the boxes as we look at us. They've got, was that 6 or 7? It might have been 6.
They're down to
either
6,
way,
it looks like.
down to 6,
here.
but yeah, and
they started with 6 though. They actually started with 6, so they've kept things steady. It seems like.
So you see the glucose would be the play on sugar, right? Team Type 1, 24:44 coming through right behind Cryogen. Robbins, 3rd fastest time with the 24:24. They're right there, though, with Evo, Flux, Jaffa Cakes, 24:22. And then the fastest time right now, Valhalla there with that 24:13. But Nathan, Team Swedish Zwifters, they are in fuego out here today. But a little bit of a split. Even the best of squads will have moments like this. You got to zig and zag a little bit out here. It looks like they're getting things back together now. One of the most familiar kits, Powerhouse Squad.
Always a squad to be watching out for, S-Z. They've got some of the best organization. And the cool thing, they've been around for so long, and the organization from the top down is so good that they end up being able to field across all of the categories very, very well. So, whenever they do show up, regardless of the category, Team SC shows up with a team that's going to usually podium out there. They take it pretty seriously. So, always great to see. And as you were saying, their organization and the way that they're able to do the team time trial, it always shines. I would say the crazy thing is it shines across the categories, though. This speed may be different. The times may be different, but the organization of the team time trial and the way that they're able to ride it, you couldn't really tell too much of a difference between this and their top La Bamba or other top espresso teams with how well
Wow.
they're able to ride these time trials.
If you just took a snapshot, Nathan, or a screenshot right now, doesn't get too much better than this. I was talking about channeling your inner PO Auto. Well, that's what the Swedes are doing right now. Have we ever seen a non-Swedish rider on Team Swedish Zwifters? Have they ever accepted a foreigner into the
That's
squad?
a great question, actually. I should put
Yeah,
that
I
over
don't think
toward our.
so.
We have some
Is that a
contacts there,
Carl
so
Tassilius
that's a
question?
Carl Taselius question for sure. It is.
Yeah.
That is.
Wow, they look fantastic. The only thing that Anna Russell would be not impressed by is that she'd like to see half yellow, half blue Tron bikes.
This
Right?
is definitely, yeah. Only thing I would say is there's a little bit of probably some fashion police discrepancies going on here. Now the battle is
Yeah.
here though. Sweden
Sweden,
uh,
Norway.
versus Norway is definitely happening because the
They've been
Vikings are here as well. Gardner and they came in with 11:58 at the last checkpoint though. That's significantly slower actually. I don't know what's happening with the Viking out here today. So tough roll it looks like, and so I think they were actually caught out there by SZ if I'm not incorrect here. So this is going to be some time to make up for them for sure as SZ continues to power on ahead of them.
I don't know if Nathan, if you've ever heard before the Big Five, which I'm kind of reminded of. Well, it's not really Africa like; it's more like Utah like when you look at, or Death Valley, California, when you look at where they're racing right now. And today we're out on Mag 8 as we started the broadcast talking about this being one of the OG courses. But the Big Five, Nathan, in Africa, the water buffalo, the lion, the rhino, and the one that they talk about being the most dangerous, right, or the elephant. You would think that elephants or lions, but it's hippos are the most dangerous of all. The more humans, I should say. When you say most dangerous, even what do you mean? Well, the hippos kill more human beings than any of the other major apex predators or alpha predators, whatever you call it there in Africa. And rhinos
Why don't
are
we have
like
a hippo team? Why don't we have a hippo team?
I was going to say, aren't rhinos basically hippos with horns?
I don't know. Like I always feel like the hippo's skin is like a lot less. Is a little bit like softer than like a rhino. I feel like a rhino is like a triceratops when it comes to like they got this armor going on.
I agree. Well, they're so dried out, right? They're
that's interesting. And I have heard that before about the hippos, that you don't mess with hippos. Watch out.
They're terrifyingly fast. They're like as fast as a horse. Maybe
that's the trick, though. Is that like that's the trick? Is you just look at them, and you're like whatever, and then like they kill you. So I mean, that's why don't we have?
I don't know. It's based on just like giving them the evil eye. I think that, but yeah. But I hear you. though. I think underestimating them, but people underestimate crocodiles and alligators in the United States all the time.
I don't understand that. Those things look so scary.
You got to be out of your mind to be messing with a crocodile or an alligator when you see them shoot across the. Anyways, I've already taken some heat for my comment about birds. I don't know if you've seen that, but speaking of birds, 26-29 for cryogen gulls, Nathan. So that's going to be in our Espresso group, and they are flying because, it's close though. Adam Racing ART Photons with a 2642 sitting in that dangerous zone where it's going to be quite a bike race from 20K on in. So that, as we look at this final check, TSC Waffles with a 2645. They're not out of it, that's for sure, and a 2735 for Evo Espresso. So that's where our Espresso category stands right now with the Gulls with the fastest time, but they're in a bike race, no doubt about it here. And again, they're inside of even 7K to go as we look at Swedish Zwifters here. This is the Waffles that we're in with, and Nystrom. They look good. I saw that. A lot of
comments.
Sam.
We're getting a lot of comments coming on here.
Throwing some shade on the commentary. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah. Lots of chatter coming through. Go high speed we're seeing here. Hoping most Mocha course record sticks, TBR. That's an old school record, too, coming in from Harry Stevens. Good to see you, Harry, in the chat. These
Yeah, hey, Harry.
Dirt Eat Dirt has a lot of
super fans out there, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but there's a ton happening here.
Adam Blake looks like a cool guy. I like his photo. He looks upbeat. So, hey Nathan, can you? I am curious if you don't mind. Well, it might maybe not a good time, but I'd love to see those course records one more time now, just to reference. It's an exciting day when we're back on a course with some teams that are really coming.
We got to talk about hippos first, though. Okay, just for a second.
For sure. So for sure, rhinos are fast, sitting in second place. That was going to be my point. Sorry that I shifted because I saw the gulls, but they're sitting second.
To the hippo on the AHDR team. That's all that Steven's letting us know about.
Oh, they do have a hippo.
They have a hippo on the AHDR team because he's a triathlete. That's what I'm being told.
So water friendly, hydro friendly. Thank you, Nathan, for doing this. This Socks for Watch WRT time, we'll have the women out on course. They're probably just rolling out, actually. 38:40 is that time for Socks for Watch. So that'll be fun to watch. We've been all it was the Espresso category that we were talking about, right? That was the one that was getting some discussion in chat.
Yes.
With that new time for me. Yes. Yeah, there you go. 37:23 is that time to watch for Espresso there. And so Doppio is the last category to fill back in as we make our way into big time WTRL racing again. I don't know how many teams we have out there today, but La Bamba, that's an old school one. You noted that 35:34. So I wouldn't expect that to be broken just because it hasn't been that competitive lately. But usually when I say that, it turns out I'm wrong.
I want to know when this SZ team went out because they're at 36:52 right now. And
it's coming down cats and dogs
right
out there.
Down. It is really pouring. I don't think it's slowing them down at this point, but 37:23 is the time to beat. I'm seeing 37:06, but I don't know how much time is going to be taken off of this. I mean, this is it's right up against it here, I think. Evo as well, just coming into the line. Smashing it, but they're at a 39:18, so nowhere near, as you can see. Going back to Nystrom, they'll be the final to get across the line for our Espressos out here today. It doesn't look like, well, I don't know. We'll see. This might be fault because there will be some time adjustments at the end of this compared to what we see at the top here. So Team SZ, they may have really pulled something off here with these waffles.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, really. This last little bit, this one's done and dusted for the waffles here. Good job. It'll be fun we'll go back and look at all of our results for all of the categories that have raced and see how that one sorts out exactly. They certainly gave it their all today.
Yeah, amazing job out here. So let's go ahead and head on over to our women's category and see how things are playing out. We'll come back in with some of the men who are finishing up in their mochas, but we are jumping in with the Vienna lattes to begin with. I am seeing the Coalition team, the first ones to jump out on course and getting some practice, it seems like, before we jump into ZRL. Coalition, if you didn't know, this is the Canyons community team that is out there recruiting. It's kind of a development team in some ways, as well as a community get together, be a part of Canyons brand and what they're up to in the world of Zwift racing. So I love what Coalition is doing, and a lot of amazing athletes do come out of this and race at some higher levels. This is definitely a place where they look for recruitment as well for their top end Canyon esports teams.
Canalicious. That's my marketing effort for the day. They didn't ask for it, but it's nice to see 8 together, to tell you the truth. Clearly, teams that are new to WTRL, how would I put it? It's like having it being onboarded into a company with a group of people. When you come into WTRL, it's the same thing where you can all sort of learn how the technology works and get over that hump of just getting it, showing up on the start line is sort of a victory in and of itself. And then rolling out at the proper time and understanding how it's been a while since we've been back in the pens and seen the teams all waiting and hanging out on their trainers and waiting for their pre-assigned start time, which is a very important part of this, is just that organization, Nathan, of everyone being on the same page and knowing how this works. Is that our friend from Thailand, Natika ND? It is, I believe. It's been a hot minute since we've seen the Seattle-based orthopedic she works with in healthcare. And I have to think that's our old friend.
Yeah, this is quite the team. They're really organized out here today. So, in this time of year, we're talking. We get now, as you were saying, coming into just something I want to highlight is I'm seeing so many more teams with the full 8 roster now at this point. Whereas throughout the summer, it really felt like we were, struggling to get the 4 to 6 to 8, and rarely did we see a full team of 8. Now I'm like, wow, there's a lot of bodies out on course here. And this is going to really set up for some faster times. 190 beats per minute currently coming from ND. So really working to hold this one together after taking a strong pull through that sprint section.
I always love the rider that takes the challenge of getting on a high-level team, right? And this is making a jump from community-level racing. She was racing in the Americas West. This is the same team as a former team of Nadia Gantova. And ND, actually, ND was the first person that hipped me to, hey, watch out for this rider. And that is always much appreciated. And here she is. You can see coming right back into the group. It is pouring on the riders virtually, making me think of she's up in Seattle, well known in North America for being I think it's one of the greatest cities that we've got. I absolutely love Seattle, but known for rain up there in the Pacific Northwest. But when it's beautiful, it's better than anywhere. But all our friends in New York, and Zwift has quite a few of our colleagues that work in New York and live in New York and New Jersey. I'm thinking of James and Charlie and a lot of our accounting crew. They got hammered with flooding, Nathan. And I know a lot of folks are inside Zwifting today that might normally be out riding. So our thoughts are with you. And I hope things get better quickly. A resilient group out there. Really resilient group, Nathan. So they'll bounce back. But it's extreme flooding here in northeastern United States.
Jumping around a little bit here, and it does look like the UK now. This is the drafting Dinos. They were the second to go out on course here, and a little bit of separation going on actually, as McTavish just says, "Forget it." Everybody, you're going too slow for me. I'm out of here. This is a learning experience, I think, happening right now for the drafting UK. Crew,
it's funny,
actually.
Nathan. You don't even want to get me started, right? Sometimes, where it's like, look,
that's actually true. Right? That's actually true, Dave. That's a great. Sometimes I'm like, do I even mention this? Dave's about to go off about what's going on here.
Because right, wouldn't you say, like, if someone asked you, you'd say, well, like, there, people look at racing with a different perspective, right? And just watching the Vuelta a España this morning, it's like there's some classic old school racing going on out there right now, and I absolutely love it, like with Egan Bernal and stuff. Obviously, Roglic is just insanely at a different level.
Did you see that meme? Did you see that meme where Roglic is riding backwards? I do
not know what you're talking.
He's riding backwards on the course.
Yeah. He's running down to the podium is what he's doing. So the podium was 500 meters.
But I mean, the way it looks like the ultimate. It looks like the ultimate troll because he's riding backwards on the course. See you guys while you're finishing up.
Yes, that's super funny. It's like it's been long enough. He has a towel and a recovery drink.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, it's good. Have fun finishing your race, guys. I've been here a while. you know.
So, and what's great is that smile on Sepp Kuss's face. I know the picture. I didn't see the meme, but I totally get where the meme would be coming from. But that smile on Sepp's face is that's $1 million shot. That's the kind of picture as a pro racer that you put up on your wall in your den to look at years later to remember the good moments. Because Sepp goes on to get second in that stage too. So I love it. I just love it. Yeah. But so going back to what we were saying, I'm a classic stylist as far as racing goes. And in team time trialing, it's all about precision and keeping the team together. And it's in some areas, it's like there's not a lot of question to it, right? With the physics. Like at some point, it's like, does dangling a rider off the front of the group make sense in any situation? Well, talk to the greatest coaches in the world, and they'd all tell you, no, it doesn't.
I am seeing as far as the. Let's see if we can find this here. I want to figure out highest number of races raced amongst.
Oh, so it was like
this,
100.
Crew.
If I remember correctly, we were up to 113 last time we checked. So
yeah, so today Lloyd Jones takes it down from ATP Racing Nitrogen. I just want to give him a shout out real quick.
Wow.
At
How many for Lloyd?
112. Vance
Okay.
Null, our birthday boy, at 110.
50.
110.
50 years old today, Vance.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. And then amongst the ladies, I'm looking through here. I'm going to see if I can find Vienna Frappe. I'm going to give a shout out to, and I'm going to find her before I actually do this. And get her on
Save
course.
that one. Keep that one chambered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our women's all-time WTRL participant leader. So we were talking about Vance and his birthday. 112 times out of 100. That wasn't Vance, though. I'm sorry. The name of the gentleman.
Oh yeah, so 110 is Vance. No, Lloyd
Vance,
Jones had 112,
Jones.
so two more.
Holy cow, Lloyd!
So pretty amazing.
And it's great. So I'm just going to do some quick math here. Typically, a bike race in the United States entry fee is $40. So
doing the math, the value. He's giving us a straight value to what's happening out
we're
here.
We're talking in the neighborhood of $4,500 saved. There.
Woo! Getting your money's worth out there.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
That's
this is going to be Carrie
Vance
Paul.
is a couple short. Yeah.
Carrie Paul here. We're going to get these numbers up on the screen. And you know what's cool is that not only is Carrie Paul the highest number of participation, but also a part of one of the fastest teams we know of in the world of Zwift racing. Look how close the racing is here amongst the women's Vienna Espresso today. Wahoo Lakoa showed up with a 9:04, which they are kind of coming out of the woodwork. I mean, that's kind of like unheard of, but it is early 6 kilometers, right? So we're not even close to into it, really. Then we've got the BBB team, only 5 seconds back. NZ Bro Cheese Rollers. Good to see NZ, excuse me. I would be slapped on the wrist and getting no coffee from Anna Russell. And Z Bro Cheese Rollers. Followed up by Toyota. And this race is anyone's race at this point. But Carrie Paul, from what I can see here, 70 races from Carrie Paul in the Vienna Espresso. Right behind her at 66 is going to be Pamela Schramber there from the WTRL What's Up Bandits. But Priority T, 70 races in for Carrie Paul.
Carrie, you are numero uno legend, without a doubt. Greatly appreciate you. So, Nathan, this is
level 42 Zwifter. I'm just gonna go on here just a little bit.
Sure, please.
Level 42 Zwifter. She's been on Zwift since. You don't see this that often, actually, nowadays, going back before 2020, because so many people got on in 2020. But she goes back to the Vox Tour Stage 1 with Danny Rowe in February 4th of 2019, was her first registered Zwift power race, actually. She did the SRAM Women's Tour back in 2019 as well. I'm trying to look and see when she got involved in the team time trial. According to her Zwift power profile, that was on January 9th. Of 2020 January 2nd of 2020, prior to when we even started broadcasting them. So she was there before it even got on TV, Dave.
So not some Jane come lately. That's for sure. Um, really, really cool. So that's Carrie Paul, the Zwifter we're talking about on Toyota Cryo. So legendary rider, legendary team. They've put all the pieces together. Although working with, well, they started with four, so working with four out here, they're so close. Let's talk about that, Nathan. It's 9:04 is the benchmark time, or the fastest time at 6K. 14K check tells us not everything you need to know, but certainly a lot of it. If it was a 10 chapter book, you're into chapter 8, honestly, at that point. And we'll revisit Wahoo Lacole, as I'm going to be interested to see as we shift over into the women's racing now exactly who's making up that team. But I have a feeling that Maud LaRue is back.
She's right there.
There we go. So this is my breakthrough rider of, at this point now, I'm saying the summer. It could be the year, but the summer for sure. She's in that category. Like, definitely, you've heard me talk about Nadia Gantova. I'm putting Maud LaRue right there. This South African triathlete has got superstar. Like, I'm not sure if she's in the Zwift Academy or not. I hope so. Maybe Zwift Tri Academy. Either way, this is a superstar in the making, and her big challenge here is just integrating with the team and making sure that she gets the most out of herself without blowing the team up. And this team is outstanding. Fairweather, Langham. We can talk about how this squad is going to come together. And Nathan, it's all about leveling up these days. Wahoo, Lacole, leveled up.
Definitely. And, one of the most exciting things coming into ZRL, Zwift Racing League Season 4, is these new teams. Is teams that are looking to really make a name for themselves, put themselves amongst that top tier, and Wahoo Lacole are definitely one of those. Especially seeing it on the women's side of things is really exciting. I'm hoping to see something similar here, like we did with Finesse, like we have seen with the reality that we saw with the Team Rave that came out of Cyrus the Pro's closet. This Ego Watt, obviously a huge name amongst that on the women's side of things. So a lot of fun to watch this happen.
I'm going to be interested too. So we made that huge announcement, or you on Zwift Community Live had the huge announcement with Next and Insured. Insured is adding some women to their roster as well. That team will also become a bigger part of the conversation. I am so stoked for ZRL Season 4, Nathan. It's not even funny. So as we follow along with Maud right now, let's take a look at the other riders on the team, because there's some breakthroughs happening here. Out of Wales, Amy Williams, Anna Fairweather, and Coralie Arthur, the two Scottish riders on the team. Helen O'Neill is from the United Kingdom, along with Sonia Carrot and Zoe Langham. So this is the new kids on the block. Well, I shouldn't say new kids on the block in any way, but a team that has done their homework and is really ready to bring the heat now in Season 4 of ZRL. And number 124 of WTRL, the World Tactical Racing League. This is where it all began. This is the when we really realized that you could do this in an esports format. It changed everything. And I love the fact that we're back every single Thursday racing. This next split that we're going to be looking at comes up pretty quickly in about 3 or 4 minutes here. We should have a lot more information about what to watch for in the last half of this race, because it's so close with BBB. Nathan, we should talk about BBB. There's another team that we were introduced to relatively recently that are going to be players going forward.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome team to be checking out. I'm loving the BBB team. We've got solid show up for them as well. They showed up, it looks like, with 8. How many do they have left here is going to be the question.
8.
I believe they're all still together here.
Yeah.
So solid as Teresa takes a poll at
Good
the front.
job.
I want to just highlight this comment here just to play a little bit with chat. They think that Zone 1 is the new PL, apparently. Well, Platinum League, do you hear that? What are you guys doing out here? What are you gals doing out here?
So,
get it moving. It's great.
So
here.
I don't know if this will be an unpopular opinion or not, right? But I think that we need to have a second Platinum League. I,
Oh,
I think because of time zone
oh.
differences, that's my logic here. You have to just stay with me for a second.
All right.
Um,
Are you funding
so
this? Are you funding? Are you running
sure, I'll
productions,
fund it.
Dave? You're
I'll
running
get
productions
sponsors.
and
Oh,
and and
oh,
and we're
I'll get
gonna get
sponsors in a
Anna Russell.
heartbeat.
We're gonna set up Russell. Now Russell
Kate
needs to have
and
an
Anna.
addition to the family first before we ask her to do any more, probably. But this is not a bad idea, Dave. You heard it here
So
from Dave Towle, giving
the
Nathan Guerra more
Strontium,
work to do on Thursdays.
Strontium League. So Unobtainium League. So because
Unobtainium. No, come on.
yeah,
Like, it's got to have something to do with the lands down
Strontium.
under. It's got to have, like,
Oh,
it's got to,
sure.
like,
So
I don't know.
yeah, I
The
agree.
mayhem it's going to cause in my life, we'll call it the Magpie League. Which is
But you know what I'm saying? Because we can't ask. And Zone One is becoming so hot right now, as the kids say. Zone One is. I agree, but we can't. Well, okay. I'm going to let this simmer for a little while on a back burner and see if we can generate some interest.
Oh, I'm seeing really interesting. Martin, is that? Hold on, we're gonna leave that alone for now, and see maybe we can bring Martin on in to chat about some updates to the ZRL and how things are playing out.
I like
With that,
Steven's idea, Hippo League.
everyone's gonna get killed.
The comments are on fire today.
Everyone's just gonna get
Yeah.
killed, though. I mean, they're in the Hippo League.
Hey, that's
You'll
what
have
you
no
signed up
human
for,
survivors.
friends.
You have no
Yeah.
human survivors in the Hippo
So,
League.
in a world where only hippos remain, and your car is underwater,
Oh my gosh.
the Hippo League.
We're gonna bring in
So,
Martin. There's a little
we'll
bit
get
of an
Elaine.
update here quickly. Martin, if you got your mic on, I'd love to hear from you if you want to give us an update on this ZRL situation, because I've been saying season 4, and I was just told there isn't actually a season 4. Interesting enough.
what
There's
is-
something
oh, thank
else.
you.
It's called
See?
something else. So we'll just
Thank
wait
you,
and see if
Martin.
we
Let's
got
hear
some
about
need to make sure we got audio coming on through. Martin, are you there? Microphone not quite on yet. Whenever you got it, I'll be able to see Martin. But Martin from WTRL is here. Martin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Thanks for jumping in with us. This is what do we call it? President of all things Zwift Racing, Martin Carew, coming in from WTRL, premier partner, obviously.
The
When it
commish.
comes to commissioner. What's happening with Zwift Racing League? It's not season 4. It sounds like it's going to be in different parts.
Yeah, so we've made a decision that the forthcoming season, and as far as we're concerned going forward, this will be the 2021-22 season, and it will have 3 parts. Part 1 and part 2 will be the familiar
Gotcha.
league format that people have experienced before, with each one being 8 weeks long, and playoffs as well, obviously, to round up. Teams, still be 3 teams going up to the Premier Division. There are some changes to the Premier Division, but we'll allow Zwift to announce those. Part 3 will be slightly different. It will be more of a tournament format based on how teams have performed across part 1 and part 2. And part 3 will be a 6-week format. And that will take on what most people will be familiar with in sport, of kind of a cut, almost knockout. It's not quite knockout. Every team will still do the 6 weeks, but there will be a progression. So more details on that as and when it gets finalized.
Awesome. That sounds really cool, actually, for more of a head-to-head type format. It goes more towards what seems to be what's really successful in the esports spaces as well, from my experience, from what I have seen, with that matching up teams and seeing which team brands are going up against each other. Really, really cool idea in that organization, and kind of just bringing things to a definition. It brings more definition, I think, to what's happening between these teams and giving it a competitive space to play out, Martin.
Definitely, and it will also link up the parts to the season as well. It's not an 8-week series anymore. It's now a proper sport with a proper season with a tournament finale feel to it. And obviously we're going to continue developing the Zwift Racing League format as time progresses. But certainly lots of exciting stuff to come, and there are some more exciting announcements to come as we hit the fall as well.
Awesome. Well, we really, really look forward to that, and how awesome it is to have the director of all things WTRL just hanging out with us for information like that. So thanks a lot, Martin. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Well, that's pretty cool,
I
Dave.
love it.
That changes things up,
Yeah.
huh?
Isn't it great too that Martin at the end leaves just a little teaser there? You know what I mean? Like with all that great detail, and then he says at the end, and there's some more exciting things to look forward to. There always are. I'm pumped. Let's give these ladies a shout out, Nathan. It's been NZ Bro. We've been following along with this New Zealand-based team, but I see that they've got an Irish woman and an Australian on the team, so they're obviously open-minded. Erin Bleakley of NZ Bro, along with her teammates Bridget Kittle, Brittany Litton, Carly Francis, Colette Gascoigne Spittle, and then it's Irish woman Fiona Gallagher, Australian Marcel Smithers, and then Natalie Smith and Nicola Matthews are also from New Zealand. And that's Matthews that we're in with right now. But the entire team together, get used to this kit. You're going to be seeing a lot more of it out here. This is a team on the rise, Nathan. We've learned a lot about them, and we're expecting big things. They're sitting second right now at that pivotal check. Wahoo Lacole. Boy. So I'm going to say that at this point now, it would take a major misstep for them to give this one up. They're on a roll with 7 riders. The cheese rollers here, NZ Bro, with 8, and all 8 still together. So let's see if they can open the throttle up. Yeah, it's not over. Good call, Nathan. Good call.
I think it's doable. The other thing I want to point out is Fiona Gallagher. She's actually picked up by Team Rave to race across both teams in the community. So she's racing with Anna Russell. Fiona Gallagher is a pickup, and for NZ Bro.
Whoa.
And she won Zwift Classics London International. She won Bologna. She won Innsbruck. She won the Watopia Cup. She won them all except for Apple Lap.
That's
it looks
huge.
like Apple Lap, and then almost all of them. But she didn't start racing them until Apple Lap, actually. So, wow,
that
strong
Riot team. That's one of my favorite teams, to tell you the
Riot.
truth.
Excuse me,
Christina
Riot
Grossman.
team. My mistake. My mistake. I got Riot and the double R's. Both of the teams I'm super excited about. Rave and Riot. We need a Riot Rave. Is what we need.
Somehow it's funny. I knew what you meant. That's Megan Eastler, Jen Reel on that team as well. That's exciting. This is going to be a great. So what we're calling it is the 2021 Zwift Racing League, Part 1. I can't wait for Part 1. Well,
let me go ahead. Well, we're in with NZ Bro. I'm thinking since we are in with them, we may jump across to their sister team. This is the Cheese Rollers, but they also have the pie sandwiches, which is I'm just always loving the names that come through. They're hanging out over in the mocha category that we're going to jump the Viennas, mochas. This is going to be the NZ Bros right here. A little bit split up, it looks like, with Kimber, Fellows, Kaliniak as well. How many did they start with? We'll have to wait and see here as we go across to and look at the participation. Is always something I love to see, how much participation comes across in the Vienna Mocha category. Always lots of teams. And Kirchmer doing what Kirchmer does. 23-26, 24-38. Absolutely dominating so far. WCC also have a women's team out there today at a 24-46 right now in third.
I don't know that I've ever seen the two Kirkmeyer teams, Nathan, sitting 1-2.
Yeah, you're right.
before.
I have not. I don't know I have either.
And now, is that going to hold? Because we do have a couple teams, the aforementioned Rave C Euro, 10-29. So they're going to be very close to maybe splitting that up. But that's pretty cool. I wonder if there's animosity between teams 2 and team 1. They might not just straight up dislike each other. I'm kidding. Wouldn't you think that there's a lot of cross pollination between the two? I actually, who knows? To tell you the truth, Kirchmeier Nation, it's Austria, some Swiss, most well German and Austrians, and it's hundreds and hundreds of racers now. They do a tremendous, tremendous job. We'll see what Rave or WTRL, Watts, UPC, or the Rockies can put up here. It really looks like Rave C Euro's the one team that will be right up in the mix there.
Okay, Ella from KCVL1. This is them. This is the fastest of the fastest so far, and they went out second though. That means they were one of the lowest seeded teams actually out there. Did they go out too hot? Did they have a rough week last week? I think they just had a rough week last week.
You never know. Maybe, yeah. One thing I would add is normally I'd be like, 4 riders, but just about everybody in this category has 4 or 5. It looks like. What's up, UPC?
Aria is the only one, I think, perhaps.
Yeah, possibly, and maybe WTRL, but we'll see. What really the name of the game now is just get in a good rotation here. If you've got 4 riders that can all do some work, you're not in bad shape, to be honest. You're at 10K to go. Just to revisit some of the parameters of racing today, we've got 29K more or less with 154 meters.
Dave, look at these guys. They just won't stop.
I know they're on fire.
Hey, how about Eat Dirt's course record this morning with Oconomowoc native, myself, of course, Bill Quarto. Bill, where are you living right now that you were up getting that? That's what I want to know. Like, because I was awake actually when it was happening. I was working on stuff, but like, as Nathan never sleeps, Nathan's always working. But Eat Dirt, Bill Quarto here coming from my hometown. Awesome to see, but got to be somewhere else in the world to be pulling those kind of times.
I was just going to say, Bill is saying that he's from Wisconsin, but I don't know that he necessarily still lives in Oconomowoc.
He's in Tosa. He got up at 3:10 a.m. He's in
Tosa.
He's in Tosa, where I race Toad. Did you come and come to the Toad race? I want to know if he came to the Toad race because I was in that race. Anyways, now we're going off about that's pretty awesome to see. Like, talk about the in real life connections that are made. So great.
It's been great, isn't it? Yeah. I met Whit Post out at the Belgian Waffle Ride, another one of the riders I wanted to shout out who, same thing, in real life, super fun. Okay, Nathan. So let's see how it looked there. So Vienna Latte won with the fastest time and still the fastest there with the 23:26. I want to make sure.
Racy Euro
does
came
remain
in
the
right
fastest
behind them, and
so that split things up. And Watts UPC with 24 flat there. Kirchmeier Latte 2, 24:38 now. All right. So they're getting down to it. It's almost completely flat, not quite, because there is a little bit of a riser that you hit, but that little lift. Not going to be any kind of trouble for these teams with the speeds that they're rolling at here. Most of the teams are going to be, pushing up on 40K per hour.
We are in with Liv. This is going to be the Faster After 50 crew. Always great to see them out here. Maria, Cindy, Pam, Susie smashing the pedals right now. 4 left with them. How many did they have start, actually? Is going to be my question.
The theme today has been our
cycling.
over 50.
Elaine was out here. Cindy Schnee's out here. Maria Shannon, Susie Lamotte. It's going to be Catherine Van Ree, and Pam Morris, and Christina Miller have all started today. Elaine, with 65 races, is right up there, right up against it, almost hitting the top number 2 as well. So I'm not sure if Elaine made the group here or not, or maybe she's coaching them through. She may be the DS out there today, but they did start with a few more than they have right now.
I'm going to give Mike Dodd the Comment of the Year award here. So Mike's saying that lots of Zone 1 people are crazy and get up at 3:30 to race at 4:15 a.m. And that is hysterical to me. like just sort of like matter of factly, right, Nathan? They're just crazy, but
Yeah,
they
I wouldn't
love.
disagree with him. I wouldn't disagree.
I wouldn't
with
either.
him.
I don't think anyone would. He's stating fact.
Yeah, that's just a fact. That's just a fact. Oh man, great stuff. And if you want to get your poster, just as a heads up, if you want to get your poster, which I mean, people are putting some pretty cool stuff out there, but if you make it a video, it makes it a little bit more difficult to bring it in here. NZ Bro, bring it. I mean, this is Rogero Costa. Let's run zone 1 together and watch all the others again. Kestros, Slurtset, Inside, and NZ Bro all were a part of this little video that was put out over on the WTRL Facebook group. If you haven't checked out the WTRL TTT Facebook group, definitely something that you should do, especially as we head more into the Zwifting season. Lots of interactions, lots of comments coming on through over there. And it's a lot of times where a lot of the inside knowledge or just being a part of the inside community
Inside jokes.
So yeah, I mean that's where you really find a lot of it. So if you're wondering where a lot of this is coming from, that's definitely a place to do it and stay connected, as well as finding teams.
I don't know if you watch Stranger Things, Nathan, but at a bike race here in the United States, one of the stars, the woman who plays Nancy on Stranger Things, I think it was Nancy is her name, was at a bike race in Atlanta the other day.
Oh, wow.
Oh, only reason I'm saying that is if you look at our posters, Stranger Things comes up for, is it Dirty Chronicles that use Stranger Things, or it might be a different team, actually, now that I think about it. But you see a lot of themes in our poster competition, that's for sure. So we're in with Live
Speaking of
Cycling.
We got to bring
Dirty
the Dirty Chronicle as always. So Dirty Chronicle this week, always great to see the Dirt team staying consistent. And we're on for September 2nd. Watopia Magnificent 8. Stewart's been under a lot of pressure lately. It's always good to make diamonds, buddy. Always good to make diamonds. That's what we're all looking for. So does that mean that they performed today is going to be the question? That's going to be the question, right? Did Stewart have a?
They respond well to pressure. No, they definitely respond well to pressure. Well, all right, 9K to go at this point. Get a good look at OG. So many kilometers have been ticked over out here for so many millions and millions and millions of them by our Zwift community. Rave C Euro.
Yeah, they're coming on hot. You need to watch out, I think, for Rave. They were sitting in second, I think, at the
team to watch for sure.
14K mark. But look, only 4 riders. Can they pull it off here? Because they're going to have to chase down the Kirchmer crew. So that's going to be the question. They're right on the edge, and this next half a kilometer is going to tell us whether or not they're still in contention for it. As they always bring the music, that's for sure.
I love it.
You're toward the front.
You're at a bike race when you hear that rave music. That's for sure. And let's take a look at that 3256 on top of the.
It'd be crazy if, like, in real life, it just became a thing. Like, they show up, and here's the music, or even they can just make it happen themselves. If Nordine Nordine or Colby came to the St. Louis Gateway Cup and just like opened their rear trunk and just started bumping this music specifically right by you, Nathan, and said hello and shook your hand, that'd be amazing.
I'm not even kidding. I control the music at Gateway Cup. It comes off of my laptop, so I could
show up. If Raves
I
show
will
up.
hit this. I will be hit. What I'll do is I'll text you and say I need an MP3 right now. We love this team, and I love your attention to detail too, Nathan. So let's take a look, though, at the top of the leaderboard here. 3256 for Kirkmeyer, Vienna Latte 1. Vienna Latte 2, they're in the second spot right now, but that may change as we've seen a strong ride coming from Watts UPC and Rave C Euro, the only team in the WTRL that has their own theme song, to be honest. Unless...
Yeah, no, you're right. We have not given a theme song to anyone else but Rave at this point. It might have to stay that way. If you get a theme song, in the
You have
CRL
really arrived. Yeah.
or
Holy cow.
WTRL, it's next level. So we're gonna hold that one close to heart for a little while yet
Yes.
here.
Yeah, you
as,
don't just give away those
no.
diamonds. That's for sure. So 34-16 for Vienna Latte 2 from Kirkmeyer. Then Z Scott. They're having a great day. Z Scott Aria with the 34-37, 34-51. And that's going to change things a little bit because Rave Euro has come through that third check before our final. So at 20K, 33-30 has them 34 seconds behind Vienna Latte 2. So that doesn't change much at all, Nathan, from the previous check. Let's see if they can throw some more coal on the fire, as we say. See if they can start closing it down, but they're going to run out of real estate pretty quickly out here. Talking about
started
Rave
with
chasing.
7 today. They actually started with 7 from what I'm seeing, I believe. Wait, hold on. Let me just double check this. Who came across the lines?
That is so funny. I was just thinking of Pavlov's dog. You can see NZ Bro has a rider named Pavlovich.
Oh yeah.
So I was just thinking with the rave music, it's like Pavlov's dog for me. I get excited when I hear it, and then there you go, Pavlovich there, or Pavlovas even. That's even better than that. That was that.
They started with 6. My bad. They started with 6. They have a 7th in the pens, I think, as a DS. So they take this fairly seriously.
4 now.
Yeah, and
They do
4.
take it seriously.
Only 4 left, which tells me, this is going to be a hold on to the line kind of situation. Striking distance still 20 seconds. Oh, it's going to be a tough one here, Dave, especially with the Vienna Latte crew with Kirschmer. I think they may have more bodies left, but let's just double check. Actually, they started with
I guess
4. Interesting enough, actually now Rave Series are going backwards though to 3rd place as Watts UPC are coming through with a 33-16. So pretty solid ride here coming from them.
Striking distance. I suppose Luke Skywalker was in striking distance with the Death Star, wasn't he?
Use the
but
force.
I mean, it's going to be
use
tough.
the force. You tell them to put their equipment away. Just put their equipment away.
You got to use the force. But no, I'm just. It's a big ask, isn't it? At this point now, with a team rolling as strong as what we're seeing. Oh, look at that. WTRL, Watts UPC. Fantastic right now. That is a little closer, kind of right in between, Nathan, for WTRL. Now, I would say that's more a legitimate striking distance.
Yeah, I think at that 20 seconds, I think they could do it. It could happen.
So that means they have to bring back 3 seconds per K. All right. If you think about it, 3 seconds per K on a team that's rolling at 35 to 37 K per hour. It's you're going to need to, on average, be making a significant amount more power to do that.
I just want to jump on over to the Vienna Frappes just real quickly here, Dave, because they've got a lot of participants this week. Sox Watts Odd Sox are doing what they do at the top. Evo Comets are right there. Crush Pod as well. But what's up? It looks like WTRL What's Up Bandits are here with that 3109. They've got, and as well as a newer team, the B Penguins from the Herd.
Yeah.
Actually, with the 3120, I wanted to give them a shout out as they're a newer team, I believe, to this WTRL TTT Platinum League. Thanks for jumping in with us.
What is that all about? B Penguins.
Okay, so
I'm
is this
fascinated.
even a thing? What is a B penguin?
I'm fascinated. Yeah. So typically this will be a down. We'll go down a rabbit's hole here, but I'm fascinated. That's for sure. You want to name a team to catch our attention? Do something like that. So Vienna Frappes B Penguins at a 31-20 slotting in. We're both furiously at work right now on the internet, seeing if there's such a thing as a B Penguin. All right, 28:57 is the fastest time for Sox for Watts Odd Sox. Evo Comets with the 30-21. So this is at 20K. They're well into really the back half of this course is almost completely flat. It gets harder and harder to eke out a second or two. Evo Comets is going to do their best as they're sitting in the silver standard right now. Crush Pod is third at that third check with a 30-43. Fourth right now, WTRL What's Up Bandits with the 3109, 3120. So that's pretty close there between our B Penguins. Welcome to the big time Vienna Frappe B Penguins. B2B sitting in 6th, Coalition Galaxy 7th, and TSC, the well-named and well-loved Cinnamon Rolls, 8th fastest time right now. Although, Nathan, why do you think that did they? Why did we have a red number 4?
That's the best I
there
can do for you, just so you know. I have no
Oh.
idea what a bee penguin is, but that's the best it seems we can do for you.
I think like if you put a bee with skates on or something, maybe like a mascot.
That's
So
essentially
this
that's
is
their mascot, maybe. I don't know.
yeah. As far as we know, that's what we're working with now. Limited information.
Just crossing the line. Just
We
coming
love our
across the
teams,
line
don't-
here.
Nathan, isn't this the best of communities when you combine Zwift Community Live and WTRL and the camaraderie amongst the teams and the inside jokes and the amount of fun that everyone has while doing some pretty serious work out here? It's no joke. These races really, really hurt. Being able to have some fun while you're doing it that's the secret sauce to WTRL, along with the amazing broadcast.
Yeah, well, we're the amazing broadcast. We're still looking for riders out on course now with our amazing broadcast. We'll find them.
You let our staff have at it. Let the staff, they can do anything.
Yeah, as we jump in, it is going to be WTRL DD UK that's going to help us out here and get us back in with the Vienna lattes, actually. And we'll be able to see how they're finishing up.
What? Sorry, there. I was going to
Go
hit
ahead,
some
Dave.
times for you, if you don't mind. Oh,
Yeah,
there we
that's
go.
fine. Let's
28,
go ahead.
36.
Here we go. Go ahead. Right.
good.
Sorry, this is my bad. Right there. There you go, Dave.
Thanks, Nathan. 31:34 is that fastest time for Zedson R. Pluto, another legendary team. Way to go, Pluto, 31:34. So let's see if that's going to be good enough. It's certainly, if you look at your Magic 8 Ball, it would say it looks like it's going that way. Crush Pod 2, second fastest time. We love Crush Pod. Good to see them out there with the 32:25, second fastest time, 33:05. Third quickest time there for Adam Racing Electrons. You got your Evo Meteors in 33:07 is the time at 20K. Fourth fastest there. And then you've got the Drafting Dinos of WTRL, and that's our host today for the 124th week in a row for the World Tactical Racing League and the DD UK1 team, 35:19. That's a good look at our Vienna lattes as they're into the last little bit here.
Interesting to see. This is very close. This 2 seconds really matters, and it is going to be this rider we're looking at right now, Aldridge Jones, and how she takes this to the line. Actually, no, it might actually be MF coming through here. This actually may be the time. That's going to be it right there. That's going to play a role as to what ends up being their time on the day. We'll jump around one more time here. We'll see if we can find the rest of the crew coming out of the Vienna Mocha category in just a moment here as they finish up their racing out on course. We'll start getting some of our finishers some of our results, our final results on the day as well as they do finish up. And we jump on in with the cinnamon rolls as they make their way to the line. This can be TSZ cinnamon rolls. Nice job out there. WTRL as well, making their way to the line after the cinnamon rolls. And I believe this is going to be the last couple of teams finishing up their race within the Vienna Frappes right now. So cinnamon rolls, they're battling it out 32:15. Currently, they're in 8th place. We'll see if they were able to bring back any time to Coalition Galaxy.
The dirigible up there. Sure. It was one of the first things when I saw
Wait,
Zwift. I was
what?
like, wow, that's cool.
What? What was that?
The blimp.
The
blimp.
blimp.
Yep. Fancy word for blimp.
We've got in
So,
the broadcast, we actually have, if you ever catch it, we do have some Easter eggs, some old school Easter eggs still in some of our broadcast assets of the blimp, which I enjoy having
Oh,
some of
yeah.
those old school Easter eggs. Be on the watch out, everybody. If you can spot them, let me know.
All right, well, the big question kind of through the day, and I have to say today the chat was hotter than ever. Very, very enjoyable. Thanks everyone for participating. I hope we see more of that, to tell you the truth. It makes the broadcast even more fun. But any course records to be broken today? Here we go with, is this Drafting Dinos 2? I think it is, from WTRL that we're in with. They've got a couple K to go. We're in with Pippa.
Yeah, there's a couple K to go here for the WTRL team. We'll see how it ends up playing out for them. The battle was Kirchner Latte versus WTRL What's Up C. And, at the last ones to go out, is that this? I'm wondering if this is actually going to be. I'm going to double check this for us here and see if this is the crew that is actually smashing things right now. When it comes to the Viennas, What's Up UPC? It's just going to have Cook and De Melander, McMinn, Jen Schmidt, Hindley, Hobbs, Laurie, as well as Samantha Curry and Jody Barton? Or is this going to be, there's another team with What's Up, but that's going to be What's Up UPC, I believe, having a really good ride out here. They're currently sitting in second place, 33-16. This was that battle we were talking about. So the final results are going to tell us. That's who this is right here. And they could take down Kirchner Vienna Latte. They also had Rave C on their heels, though. So there is a question as to whether or not Rave C Euro were able to bring back some time. Rave C Euro, it looks like, on the chase.
Ooh, boy, what a race.
They're right behind them, actually, interesting enough. So what happened here is going to be my question. Did Rave C Euro catch, or did WTRL Watts UPC catch them? Like, something happened here.
So WTRL passed them.
Yeah, because they went out behind them. Correct. So they're actually coming on stronger and stronger as the race goes on. This could be a win for the WTRL team, actually, with how they're coming on strong at the end of the race. That tells me they've only gotten faster. Yeah, and they've got a lot of riders left here. They've had 8 all the way through, whereas Kirchner Vienna Latte have 4. Yeah. I mean, Dave, this might be it.
And, just look, they look really solid right now. They're sitting here about a half K from the finish. The team is rolling like a squad. This is a big moment for WTRL. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get the win or not, but it certainly was a valiant effort. And to be this organized, this precise, at this point in the race, this is hero status for the team. Breakthrough performance today. As we're in with Schmidt right now, they take this hard right, and then boom, finish line will be right there. Time off the 4th rider, so they don't need to wait. Just gallop. Keep it going here, as every second is going to count. Let's see. This would be big, Nathan, to see a team come from 20 seconds back. And I'm not saying it's likely, but as Kirchner Vienna Latte won, they had an outstanding ride here today. But these women gave it everything they've got. That's what the WTRL is all about. Right here, right now. You're witnessing the best of what we get to witness every Thursday.
Yeah, and this is going to be Almari de Melander to the front. Now Pippa to the front as well. Lowry, they just keep trading space to spots now with little sprint lead outs. 5.3 watts per kilogram, 180 beats per minute. One less.
See the different hats.
Cook here, young Cook. Across, and they all cross together. Absolutely awesome to see. Well,
whether they win or not, they certainly made a big step forward out there today.
And Zebro, interesting enough, I think
they finished
to the line.
Or these two have done their work, I should say.
Here come the Rockies. Always good to see. I'm always loving their kit setup, the Rockies.
They look great.
Yeah.
That's a nice looking jersey. That's new to me. I haven't noticed that before, Nathan. So thank you for highlighting that. They look fantastic.
Nice little kick from Rebecca. Lissa right on her wheel. Chelsea also. They the Rockies splitting it up between them. They're a herd team, actually. As they come across
these NZ riders are, great. Well, what a day. So much fun out there.
We'll jump in with results here in just a moment. As we have plenty more to talk about, though. Tomorrow, Kristen Armstrong live workout. If you want to work on specifically the Alp to Zwift and getting your best time up to Alp to Zwift, she's going to show us a workout and put me through the paces that might be able to get me a better
absolutely
time.
brutal. Sounds so rough.
So my best time up the Zwift I did this summer, actually. I jumped on. I was in really, really great shape, and I was like, all right, well, let's go do an Up the Zwift race because there was a special challenge to get the new Athos wheels, and there was a great battle that you could go and do as a part of the release of some new equipment. And so I went and did it and had an amazing time. I was somewhere in the upper 30s. I think it was a 37 or 38 minute up the Zwift. It's like, oh man, can't get better than that. Well, now I've got Kristen saying, no, here we go. We're going to get better than that, Nathan. So now I've got this challenge in front of me because you can't doing the workout. And then I'm going to feel like, well, I got to go do Up the Zwift now too to see how this ends up playing out after a few weeks of it. But again, it is used over and over again, though. I think it's like, here's a workout and an idea of what kind of workout you can do to take some training rides and figure out how to get a better time up the Zwift. Going to be great. We do have results coming on in, it looks like, we'll start in with the Dopios. The question for me is, did anything get challenged when it comes to the times out there? It looks like today it is going to be not so much. It's going to definitely be a 36:57 there from NZ Bro Certic. So not coming close to that 35. Man, that time from the La Bamba at 35:34 is just insane. We'll see if that ever gets broken. Wahoo Lacole come on through for second. 37:17. 37:33 from Innovation Euro Aliens. And Zsun Hercules for our Dopios. That is going to be in for fourth place on the day. In the Espressos, Dave.
Let's take a look at Eat Dirt. So nice to see dads indoors riding trainers in full effect. 37:23. So that's out of Zone 1. A lot of chatter about Zone 1 being the new Platinum League, and this sort of backs it up, to tell you the truth. Zone 7 wants to have their say with Toyota, Cryo, RDT, Small M. They're only 20 seconds behind in the Espresso. Just this category, so much fun. It's the WMZ All-Stars with the 37:56 in. So just to be clear now, this is up till this moment the fastest times from, I believe it's probably the first 8 different zones, maybe even just 7 zones of the 16 that participate in racing today. This is Platinum League that we just covered. But so Eat Dirt, you wouldn't have seen them racing in our coverage. They raced earlier today. Now, we move down to the 4th fastest time. It's the mighty Cryogen Gulls. They raced in Platinum. And let's see here, 4th for them, 5th for Dirt Digglers, 6th fastest time for TSZ Waffles, Evo Warriors, 7th fastest, Adam Racing Team Photons, 8th fastest, Kirkmeyer Development, 9th, and Evo Espresso. That's your 10th fastest time up till the moment here, as we see the Espressos really having at it today in Team Time Trial 124.
And in with the Frappes, our 3R ACDC, make it happen with a 38:48. Eat Dirt 007. Eat Dirt's having a solid day today with a 19-second back at 39:07. NZ Bro Pwaka Wakas. Hey, they're NZ Bro Pwaka Wakas now. Loving it here. In 3rd place there, TSC Rocky Road. In 4th, coming through. In 5th, it's going to be our Rowan King Gazelles. 6th place is Kirchmar Frappe. Hazama no Kai in for 7th. And then Valhalla Legbiter in for 8th. Zsun Saturn in 9th. Riding dirty. Very close here. Only a minute 20 separating the top 10 currently right now. So great to see the battle there in the Frappes. In with the Lattes.
All right, this is going to be Vikings Valhalla on top of the board with the 41:36. Great job, all the Vikings rowing together out there today, our Woolly Rhinos. So they got it down to 15.99 seconds. That was a battle royale today. They'll take the second fastest time up to the moment. ATP Racing Nitrogen 3rd. is Cryogen, the Emu's fourth fastest. Really, really close today. Eat Dirt 2, fifth fastest. Team ODZ, the DOC, Destroyer of Cookies, sixth fastest time. That's out of zone 4 today. TFC Lancaster, seventh fastest. Tuga Zinata. That's the Portuguese team with the eighth fastest time. WLC Tequila Chasers, ninth. And the Lancettes, Team Type 1. And a happy birthday going out again to Vance Nall today. He turns 50 as his team finds the top 10 fastest times.
In with the Mochas, TSC, make it happen. We watched him right to the end, actually. Had an amazing organization with that team. So awesome to see Swedish Swifters. Cannibal take it down. It's going to be Adam Racing, Team Krypton coming on through for second there. Our Sumatran Rhinos, doesn't look like any hippos took out the Rhinos today, 47-12. Aaron King, Vixens in for fourth. High Speed with their debut. Hold down a fifth place. Great to see that awesome team out there today. Valhalla Drownsville there in for sixth. Evo Flux Jaffa in seventh. Team Type 1, Gluconauts in eighth. Cryogen Robbins faded, I think, because I think they had some super fast times early on. They take down ninth. Eat Dirt 3. They come on in for 10th. Let's see how things played out for the ladies.
Well, they delivered again. Wahoo Lacole Etoiles, 41.03 for the Vienna Espresso fastest time. Look at the Platinum League stacking them up here. NZ Bro Cheese Rollers, they are right there, 45 seconds back with the second fastest time. Third quickest, BBB. And then you've got Cryogen RDT. They're fourth fastest, and Rave All Night. That's your fifth fastest time from Vienna Espresso, where we're going to watch things really start to ratchet up here over the next few weeks in this category. It's going to be fun. So that is your Vienna Espresso 5 fastest. I'll throw it back to you, Nathan, for Vienna Frappe.
Sock Swats doing what Sock Swats does. Odd Sox at the top of the 41.32. Going to be Evo Comets coming on through for second in 43.35. 41.09 was the fastest time ever, though, through here. So I just want to double check here. What was the time today? So for the Vienna Espressos, Wahoo came with a 41.03. WRT had a 38-minute on this course.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh. Just to give people an idea what the level is at that premier division. So, wow. Crush Pod coming up to 44.04. WTRL, What's Up Bandits with that 44.24 in fourth place. B Penguins! Fifth place. Interesting. I still want to know what a B Penguin is. Coalition Galaxy in 6. B2B7.
Sounds like a hybrid. I think it's a hybrid.
So. Yeah. Good call. Herd and the Penguins there. So Wahoo Lacole, Stella? They're in 8th. It's going to be TSC Cinnamon Rolls in 9th. And Vegan Bees coming on through for 10th place.
Stella. All right. We've got Vienna Lattes now. Z Sun R Pluto with a 44.59. So top 3 times coming out of the Platinum League up till now. Crush Pod 2. Nice job, ladies. And our Vienna Lattes, that's the silver standard at this moment. Evo Meteor's third fastest time. Then you've got Z Scott Alba, the Scottish ladies, sitting fourth fastest. Adam Racing Team Electrons fifth. TBR Smile On. Love the name. Good vibe from that TBR team. Sixth fastest, and WTRL Drafting Dinos UK 1 edition. That's your top 7 here today for Vienna Lattes.
And last but not least, of course, it's when they made it happen, Dave. They
wow.
really made it happen. They not only pulled back 20 seconds, they went 16 seconds over the top. We watched it right to the end. What a ride by WTRL. What's up, C?
Had a feeling, didn't you, Nathan, when we were watching that?
Yeah, you saw it. You saw how smooth they were. They were super
Good for
smooth.
them. Good for them.
Nice job by WTRL there. Kirchner Vienna Latte come on through for second. Arrow Stingers from Zone 1, as we're being told, supposedly the new Platinum League, or they got their own going on or something, but obviously they're showing up at 48.14. Rave C Euro come on through for 48.15, only 1 second back. Kirchner Vienna Latte 2 in 5th. Z-Sun Burson in 6th. Give me Z-Scott Aria in 7th. Live by Cycling hold it down for 8th with their faster FD50. Crew WCC Infernos in 9th, and the Rockies just barely hold on for that 10th place. Obviously, Zone 1 are chomping at the bit, Dave. They are showing us what they've got. Now, let's go ahead and take a quick look and see what's happening for next week. Well, we've got Kasepats there, and that is a tough course, actually. I raced that course this past week, and it's got quite a little bit of a climb in there, I believe. UK time, 8 p.m. UK time. Yeah, it is. It is.
Tough team time trial course. Really different than today.
Yeah, I mean that course is going to take, you know, as far as like how to play that course, it really is going to take some to get the best time in that course, specific efforts at specific times. That's going to be interesting to see if people show up, because like a lot of times you show up and it's just, you know, suffer all the way through at the same kind of effort in a time trial, and that's what you think about, especially traditional flat time trial. That one, because of the intense downhill and the intense uphill, I just think the teams that really use those sections to their greatest advantage are going to have a pretty big advantage if they know what they're doing.
Let your role players play their roles, right? Good directing from the director sportives. And teams are really going to be looking to that key player, like the coxswain for a rowing squad. That role becomes more important as we start taking things more seriously, ramping things up. Exciting day. Great job to all of our racers. That was a ton of fun to watch. And special shout out to the WTRL ladies there. That was quite an effort to come back from 16 down to go 16 up over that last 9K. Yeah, that gets
absolutely.
an A+.
Super awesome job by them. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, hit the likes, follows, subscribes, all that stuff, whichever channels you are watching on. We'll see you tomorrow for the Christian Armstrong workout.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, thanks a lot. If you
My
want to
heart
jump
goes out
in,
to you.
the delay is a little bit better on Twitch, just so everybody knows. So for that specifically, we are pushing people over toward Twitch. It's about a 1 to 2 second delay at the most. A lot of times Facebook and YouTube, it's a little bit further out, just as a heads up for everybody. If you are looking for the live coaching, we'll see you for that workout. And next week's WTRL, and we're ramping up for the Zwift Racing League 3 parts. What do we call it now? We just call it Zwift Racing League.
2021 ZRL
2021.
season.
There we go. 2020. I like it.
Or 2021, 2022.
2021,
Yeah.
2022 ZRL season. I'm loving that. Much more toward traditional sports. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. As always, right on.